So, Stefan, I'm sure you've got this question all weekend. After the retirement, why are you ultimately back? What factored into that decision?
Just needed some time off, and really dig deep into my own mind, see what was going on, and just being away from everything for a little bit because I wasn't even under contract anymore with the UFC. I had nothing going, so there was no pressure for a fight or whatever, and to be honest, I've been training pretty much all year because a couple weeks after the fight, I helped Alistair Overeem get ready for Alexander Volkov at the time. And ever since then, I've just been training. And, at first it was like 3-4 times a week. And then later on, I started pushing a little harder. And after 4 or 5 months, I was like, I'm doing so well still against all these top level guys. I'm feeling so good. I'm having fun with it, and there's nothing really at this moment where I would like to put my energy in and go for. If you're doing so well, why not compete a couple more times? You've fought up to a level and to a point where the paychecks are real good. So if you feel good, why not? Let's do it.
Was there any? You said your contract expired. Was there any talks with anyone else, or was it just went straight to the UFC?
A little bit, but ultimately, UFC has always been good to me. I know what I get when I fight here, and the feeling was just good. The offer was good, and here we are.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you had certain feelings, right, that led to that retirement announcement.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
You're saying, you came back because you feel like you have some good fights, but in one way you could say maybe you're just delaying that decision, right? So what's gonna happen when those feelings come back? What do you think you're gonna do?
Well, when I made that decision, I felt real good. Like I felt no, urge to get back in there for a couple of months. It was real nice. And then, I got the appetite back. But ultimately what led to the decision, like the years before the last fight, were pretty frustrating for me. 3 losses, shoulder surgery, hand surgeries, problems with my back. I fought fights where I was fighting more against myself than I was able to showcase my skill. So it was just really frustrating. I've invested a lot of time in my career being gone from home, from Holland, where I was always training before that. And then I went to Florida, which was a great decision to, after all the stuff with my heart, to reignite my career. But being gone that much, it's awesome when it's working, when you're getting the results. And I feel like I got a ton better there. But when you're gone and the only thing you get is losses and then surgeries, and it's just frustrating fights. It's a mentally heavy job sport, and if you don't get the win, then it can get really frustrating. Then the last fight happened. I had a really good training camp in Holland. Back with my old team, longtime coach Bob Schreiber, and training with Team Musasi, and I felt ready, and we changed some things, and I had a really good training camp. And then after 3 to 5 seconds, I was on my butt, and I didn't know what happened. He caught me with that shot. He threw his first shot. I threw a kick, and it all had to do with my focus not being right. Not being where it needs to be to step into a cage and fight some other man. I was going to throw that kick and stopped somewhere halfway, and he stepped in deep, connected, and I hit the ground, and I didn't know what hit me. So I was surviving that first round with, not knowing what had just happened. So I was just, trying to get my mind straight again and refocus, and luckily I was able to do that. But it took a lot out of me, to do that at that point, especially after the years before that with those fights. Second round, I was able to, change the focus, refocus, took him down, and ultimately, in my opinion, finished him pretty easily, showcased my skill at that point. But it took a lot out of me, especially after all the stuff that happened before that. And I was just done at that point, so it was just me being honest, the way I felt. I felt like if I would go in there a couple months later with that focus, it wouldn't be a good result. Probably would be, putting myself in danger, unnecessary danger, because, there's nothing wrong with losing the fight. But as long as you're feeling good, you can get hurt in there too, and now I'm having a great camp, and, I'm fine with knowing that whatever happens, I put all the work in, I'm going to have a great fight. He can catch me, but right now, I put so much pressure on myself before the last fight too. It was all about winning instead of just how to win, you know what I mean? The focus was just not right. But now I feel good. I'm feeling really relaxed, and just where I need to be, where I was in the past when I had my best fights.
Stefan, a lot of MMA fighters do exactly what you have done, where they have these long careers. They get to a point where they say, maybe I'm done. They take time off, and a lot of them come back. What does it say about MMA that you see this pattern all the time?
It's mentally heavy, man. It beats on you, and especially when you have a streak, like I just said, like it can really beat down on you. And like sometimes you got to be smart and, take yourself out of harm's way that way, because, getting knocked out, it's what I say, like anything can happen when you go in there, as long as you did everything and you're in the right spot mentally and physically. Like if you get caught, you get caught, you know what I mean? But if you go in there with the wrong focus and you just fight for a paycheck, like there's, it's silly. It's a mistake, sometimes you need to refocus, be gone from everything for a little bit, take a break, refocus, really dig deep into your own head, and see what's going on and try to figure it out.
Should you do that to the point where you waited till you were very at the end of your rope, right? Should you do it as a normal part of your routine? A lot of fighters say, I want to be active.
Uh-huh.
Are you suggesting that maybe that's not the best way, like taking some time between fights is better?
It's hard, man, but it's really hard to say because those fights didn't go my way. But like, for instance, Arlovsky, I had a pretty good camp, but I blew my back the week of the fight. But then you put so much work in there. What are you going to do? Are you going to pull out of the fight just, because you blew your back out that week? Or, you're going to miss a paycheck too. You invest like 3 to 4 months and then there's no paycheck at the end of that, after you invest a lot of time and money in that. It's sometimes it's so hard to make these decisions because it's not just, for most guys, it's just not just, sport, the things they like to do, but it's a paycheck too, It's like, if the paycheck doesn't come, like, what am I gonna do? Like, it's very hard, man. A lot of things come together, and yeah, sometimes you need to really just step away and take some time instead of just a couple weeks. Like, I needed a couple months to really refocus. So.
You fought Pat Barry in the same arena. Are you
8 years ago?
Are you superstitious at all about that? Like, are you a good luck guy kind of thing?
No, man. Like, what I say, anything can happen. I just know that I had a really good training camp. I'm ready. I feel like an improved fighter. We changed some things. Training back with my longtime coach, Bob Schreiber, we implemented some things which we think I can, do really well with in this fight. And I really hope that I get to showcase that this weekend. For the rest, it's fun to be back. It's crazy that it's already 8 years. It's just insane to me that time flies by so fast. Yeah.
I asked Alistair the same question yesterday, but you got him on this card yourself. You got Jermaine Durandamy fighting for a UFC title next week. Is Dutch MMA in as good of a place as it's been in a while right now?
Right now, yeah, but like things can change fast. Like if we get 2 losses, people are like, especially in Holland, like. 1 week you're awesome, the next week you're like, he's shit, man. Like, he's always been shit, what I mean? Like anything can happen, but we're definitely, we're doing good. We've always been a country with great combat athletes, and now what was missing was the wrestling and, the grappling part, but slowly, fighters from Holland are training overseas for a longer period of time, and the older fighters are showcasing and training the younger fighters, showing the wrestling and all that's come together, right? So I think in the future, a lot more fighters from Holland are going to do well, so. Yeah.
It's not just the Dutch fans that are flimsy like that.
Yeah?
Don't worry.
No,
It's all other fans.
yeah, well, we get a lot from in Holland because, I live there, but that's just the way, a lot of people like that. You're right.
What did you see from Rothwell in his last fight? What did you notice? Anything stand out to you about it?
He's tough as shit. Yeah, man. Like, sometimes things don't go your way. He can take a shot. He's got a lot of power. If you move a lot, he struggles. If you stand right in front of him and you don't move into angles, you make it a brawl, he's gonna probably catch you and win that fight. So I need to find the solution for that. And what I said, we implemented a lot of new things into training. I think it's gonna work really well. So yeah, he's really tough, man. He had a great streak in 2016. At the same time, he got 2 suspensions around that time, and now he's on a 3-fight skid. But also, he just fought Blago Iganov, and that decision could have easily gone his way. Like if he would have been given that decision, nobody would have been surprised. So then it would have just been 1 loss, his last fight. Obviously, we studied that fight, and for sure we see a lot of chances and all that, but it's also still the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? Like one shot can end it. So I really feel good, and I hope I really get to show the skill, the new things we added.
You mentioned the health issues in the past, the troubles with your heart. I know it's a while ago now, but I mean, I've had my own share of heart issues, and a lot of people have. Does it still kind of sit in the back of your head in terms
Always,
of?
because it's right here, right now. It's not like something happened and it's gone. You know, like I was born with a heart defect, and that'll be here for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And sometimes when things get hard in training, like you can question yourself. Everybody questions themselves. Like there's sometimes when you have a bad day, you're tired. I'm like, really, is this me, or is it like I'm just having a bad day, or like but you know, it's been so stable ever since they found it. And it improved a lot since they found it, and then it been stable at that level. The way I feel in training, man, most days when I have good days, like my conditioning is awesome, especially for a heavyweight my size. You know, 7 foot, 270 pounds. Like, how much is it really like slowing me down? I don't know. Like, I probably would have been a lot better if I didn't have it. So, but that's just guessing. You know what I mean? Like, it'll always be here, and I just have to be smart with it. This is my 23rd UFC fight. I already had like 22 pro fights before that. In the past, we used to train really, really hard. I still train really hard, but we definitely trimmed down the training a little bit. I train 8 times max a week, of which some sessions are really chill, you know, and I do much better. In training, I feel much stronger. My training partners say, you know, this is the best you've ever been, the strongest you've ever been, you know, like it. I just got to be smart with it, learn from it, and try to improve it every single time.
Alistair's headlining the card tonight. He's 39, I believe. I know we talked about you coming back, maybe just a few fights. Is there any scenario where you see yourself going that long?
No, I don't think so. Like, at first, when they found it, it was like 5 years ago, and I thought like that window, like 5 years, is probably a good window to, you know, to keep on fighting. Now we're a little past that, but I'm still feeling great. So, but I just want to be smart with it. And, I always say, I tell my cardiologist too, like, don't look at me as like, you know, you're going to end my career if you have to tell me something bad. But he's really happy with the way it looks. And, like, I'm not going to fight into my late 30s. But right now, it's a really good paycheck. I'm doing something I like. It's a life's work. I'm proud of it too, you know, like what I achieved, especially, you know, with that heart defect is, most people with that defect are told very young that they're not going to be able to do some sort of combat sports or whatever, you know, like they should be careful. And if, you know, when I think about that, all the things I got to do, travel the world, all those fights, I've had over 40 pro fights, man. When you think about it, it's pretty insane, right? So I'm just grateful and happy that I'm still able to compete on this level. And,
The next title fight is going to be Stipe and DC3. What do you think is in the better interest of the heavyweight division? Is it Stipe keeping the belt, or is it going to be DC winning, you know, retiring, giving it up, and then you can get 2 new guys in there?
Well, I think that the latter is going to be hard for the division, right, with the guy retiring if he holds that belt. So I think definitely for the guys who are close to that belt, they want to fight the champ. They don't want to fight for a faking belt, you know. We'll see, man. I'm just looking forward to the fight. It's going to be great. And there's a lot of new blood into the heavyweight. It's fun to see that, man. It's changing a little bit, too, because it's big, athletic guys. They're getting bigger and more athletic every single time. So, the landscape is looking good for the division.